And we're here at the brand new Quaker Steak Lube here in Florence, Kentucky. I'm here with the Covington Catholic Colonels. 9-4 season for head coach Dave Wirth. And coach, you took over a program with always high expectations, but the program was a little bit down after the retirement of Coach Lynn Ray, and you've risen the program back up to an acceptable level. Kind of talk about, as far as your fan base, it's a rabid fan base, and that's a great thing to have, but there's also expectations that go along with that. Kind of describe the culture there at Covington Catholic with the football program, and how big a responsibility it is to be the head man there on the gridiron.
There we go.
Take two.
That's right. I think it's the responsibility is more to the kids than it is to the community, although the community is certainly a big part of it. But I knew going into that job what the community was like, having spent 3 years working for Coach Ray. So I knew that they would expect to win, and they would expect to win fast. And that's the nature of the beast. You know, I mean, I grew up a part of the Mulver program, and you know that was the deal there. And it's certainly a part of any program that has a lot of tradition. So we're lucky. You know, I mean, tradition's not a burden; it's more of a blessing. And the kids come out and they work, and they just put their nose in the grindstone, and you know that's how you get better.
Now, we both just mentioned Coach Ray. I've noticed he's hanging out on the sidelines, kind of helping out. Kind of talk about, I don't know if these guys remember the impact Coach Ray made on the program and everything, but talk about him and how he instills that tradition with these younger guys that might not realize that at this point in their lives.
Well, these guys are lucky because, you know, they have Coach Ray as an assistant coach now, and, you know, they get to see him every day in the weight room, and they get to see him every day on the field, and I think they see firsthand, you know, just how incredible his football knowledge is, and his demeanor on the field and everything else. You know, and he's certainly the one that built that program and built the tradition. And, you know, every step that we make trying to get back to where we were, hopefully, you know, can honor the work that Coach Ray did for so long. And I know these guys take that very seriously as well.
Right. And one more thing before we send it off to your players. Kind of talk about the fact, the progress that you've made. You know, you kind of were stuck, you know, with going against Johnson Central and not being able to kind of go past that, and this year you were able to do that. Kind of talk about, you know, as a program, you know, the incremental steps that you have to take before you actually get to that state level, you know, that you want to be at, and having to slay it one step at a time and hopefully further. But talk about the accomplishment you made by getting past that level in the playoffs.
Well, that was a good monkey to get off our back. You know, we wanted to go down there and play a good game, and they were a good football team. They probably weren't what they were, you know, a year or two ago when they had some guys that were really outlandish. But they were still a good football team, and that's a long drive, and that's a tough place to go play a game. Although it's a great place to go play a game, it's a lot of fun. You know, the Cooper guys went down there and played a year or two ago as well. But you know, there's some satisfaction in making some of the progress that we've had, but there's still some frustration with the lack of progress in other ways. So that's kind of what we're concentrating on.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Coach. Dave Wirth there. We'll pass it on to one of your defensive leaders there, Sam Burchell. And, you know, everybody talks about that CovCath high-powered offense, but you guys are pretty stout there on the defensive end. I believe you had, let's see here, defense allowed just 11.9 points per game, 5 shutouts. You're a big part of that, Mr. Burchell. Just kind of talk about your guys' approach on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, I definitely know one thing. We had a great offense returning. We knew that. And one thing we wanted to get back to was having another stout defense, the way CovCath's been for the longest time. So that was one of our main focuses this past year, was just getting back to just classic football, get after it. But no, the biggest part was just we had great defensive line. It all starts up front. And we knew we had an opportunity to be a great defense, so trying to do the best we could.
You know, you guys start out the season with 2 shutouts, and then you played one of your toughest, you know, regular season opponents over at Cincinnati LaSalle. And as a defense, that's a high-powered offense also. You guys only gave up 1 touchdown on the defensive side of the football. Kind of talk about the confidence that builds despite the fact that was a loss over there in Cincinnati. I mean, that's a tough environment to play in, and you only gave up 1 touchdown. Kind of talk about how that was able to build, and it was week 3. Kind of talk about how that builds, you know, in order to continue on and soldier on for the rest of the season.
Well, I know that definitely gives you some confidence. It definitely gives you a little hope that, you know, hey, you must be doing something right. But I know the competition over there, great football. the GCL, but I think the biggest part was we all saw the things we were doing, the techniques we were using, just getting back to simple football, just getting off blocks, making tackles. Like, things were coming together, and it was just good to see the hard work paying off.
All right. Well, Sam, you're one of our nominees for Defensive Player of the Year. Good luck to you on that. We'll probably see you up here later on in the evening. Go ahead and let's pass the mic off to my right, your left, to the offensive group here. And of course, Coach will agree with me, offense is the one everybody likes. Defense wins games, but offense is what sells tickets. And that's what we're doing here. We're selling tickets on this side of the ball here. We've got wide receiver Ethan Egbers. And Ethan, you had an outstanding season this year. Doesn't hurt, you got a stud quarterback to get you the ball, man. Just kind of talk about the fact you guys averaged almost 40 points per game and scored 45 or more 5 times in the last 7 games. You're looking at those notes there kind of like, wow, we really did that, didn't we? Kind of talk about the offensive approach and how the fact that you guys just kind of was like a fast break there, kind of basketball on turf.
Yeah, well, we know if you score points, you win games, and we knew our defense was going to keep the team from scoring points, so we just went as fast as we could, tried to tie down the defense. Blake's throwing a perfect ball, so it doesn't really hurt. Just fast-paced, high-powered. That's what we're all about.
What's it like knowing that no matter what kind of route you're going to run, this guy's going to get you the ball?
No worries. It's always nice not to worry about that. So I just get to my spot, I put it in my hands, and there's the ball. So it never hurts to have this guy right here.
All right, congratulations. Thanks again to Ethan Egbers. He is a nominee for Offensive Player of the Year, as well as this young man, the quarterback, Blake Burr. Blake, fantastic career. You rewrote all the record books at Covington Catholic. And, the first year you were there, you got a lot of numbers in spite of the fact it was pretty much a run attack with Gabe Gray. Kind of talk about the fact that you guys were able to, still incorporate the running and the passing game, mix that up and switch things up and confuse other teams' defenses.
Well, I think you have to be balanced on offense if you want to have a successful attack. I mean, so you can, it can go either, heavy run, heavy pass, but if you can keep teams off balance, it really helps your attack.
It helps good play calling from your coaching staff, right?
Yeah, not bad.
All right, talk about Ethan for a second here. Like I said, it helps with guys like him and Sam Dressman being out there, being able to trust that they're going to be in the spot that you throw it in, because I don't think a lot of people realize you're not really throwing it to your guy, you're throwing it to a spot depending on him to be there. Kind of talk about the trust that you guys built being together for so many years.
Yeah, that's all repetition, really. In practice, playing every rep in practice like it's a game rep really helps you out. And obviously you got really good athletes like Ethan and Sam out there, and I'm not sure people realize how good of a
That's okay, man. Keep going.
I'm not sure people realize how good of a leader Ethan was. I mean, he was the vocal leader of the offense, and can't thank him enough for it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for being here. Blake Burr, one of our Offensive Player of the Year nominees, along with Ethan Egbers, and a Defensive Player of the Year nominee, Sam Burchell, and of course the head coach, Dave Wirth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the Covington Catholic Colonels.